All right. Hey guys, how's everyone doing today? Today we are going to interview Miss Alexis Whalen. She has been with Prove It for, is it 8 months?
10.
10. Okay, sorry. 10 months. And before Prove It, she struggled with ADHD and anxiety. I'll let her get more into some of that, but I've told Alexis many times that I was like her Facebook stalker, girl crush. Like, I just loved her energy. And if you've ever hung out with her in person, she is like truly just like a light to be around. And so now I'm her real life friend.
Yay!
Yay! Okay, so let me ask you our first question.
Yes.
What was your life like prior to Prove It and Keto OS? Give us a little glimpse of what that looks like.
Yeah. So, gosh, it's kind of crazy to think back on. I've just always been somebody who I would say is, can you mute everybody out, Joe? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. 1 second.
Okay. So I would explain myself as somebody who's just very hyperactive. I've always, since I've been a kid, I've always struggled with focusing in school, and my report card was always really good, but it always said she talks too much. And I really struggled with, I've had anxiety since I was probably 5 years old. Always worried about something. I was always the kid that was worried that one of my friends was going to get hurt, or I've always been super hyperactive, super anxious. I always struggled with sleep. I really remember so many times growing up that I would go into my parents' room in the middle of the night because I just couldn't fall asleep. So I've just always literally since a kid, and this has followed me and stayed with me all the way through my adulthood. So it's really interesting because right before Prove It and ketones came into my life, I think it was, grand design, this time that I needed something so bad, and the universe presented it so beautifully, but because it really did kind of fall onto my lap. But I was in a dark, really dark place. I was going through some really bad bouts of depression at the time and really doubting myself, and laying in bed all day long. It would take me literally, I remember my husband would go to work and I would stay in bed all day. And then literally 15 minutes before he would get home, I would go try to put some makeup and clothes on so that he didn't know that I was literally laying in bed all day. So I was just, it was just rough, always tired. Always taking naps, always laying in bed all day, really down and out. And I think it was just I don't know. I was at a point in my life where I'm is this it? This is all that it's supposed to be. And from the outside, I think we had a really great life. We both were doing well, in our careers, from the outside, but we were really struggling on the inside, to be honest. And I was always feeling conflicted because I think a lot of people thought that we had this perfect life going on and this perfect situation. And every time I would get home after we'd be out with our friends or family or whatever, I was I just feel I'm living kind of a lie, to be honest. Sounds really bizarre, but so that's where I was at, just, anxiety ridden, super depressed, feeling super dark, and just kind of lost, not really sure what life was supposed to be or what was meant for me, but I just felt I was stuck. And so, that's kind of where I was at.
Okay, so in comes Keto OS, Keto Max. How did you find out about it? Were you skeptical? What happened when you first tried it? Give us your testimony with the actual product.
Sure. So, I actually had a friend that was talking about it a little bit. I saw her talking about it on social media, and I was very skeptical, which I think most of us are in some sense, but so I have a super scientific brain. I actually went to college to be a doctor. I was a pre-med student and dropped out of college. So I'm a science brain. And so immediately when I start hearing that people are drinking something that makes them feel better, I'm nope. So yeah, I was super skeptical, but I didn't do any research or educate myself at all. So, I mean, who was I to judge? But then my friend called me, who I respected her opinion a lot, because she was, in the health and fitness field. And like, I just knew that she seemed to be pretty educated on things. And she was just like, you really should try this. And I was like, okay. So I actually chose to try it in the back of my mind, thinking like, I'm just going to prove to her that this doesn't work. Like, it was totally a science experiment for me. And so I got like a 10-day sample pack or 10-day experience pack that she sent to me, and came in the mail, ripped it open. I didn't even read the directions. I just shook it up and drank the first one. And I mean, in 1 hour, like, I felt like I was flying, to be completely honest. And I remember like texting my husband and being like, I know this is placebo effect. Like, I know it's all in my head. Like, I know, like, cause I was already anticipating, like, what is this going to be like? Like, what is this going to be like? And so I was like, can this be for real? And I'm like, no. Like, I remember like talking myself out of it. And then day 2, I drank it and I felt the same again. I was like, I still feel like it's in my head. And by, day 4, it was almost like I blinked. Like, I looked back and I was like, I've gone 4 days straight of literally feeling on top of the world, and like crystal clear. Like, it was like, all of a sudden I could like sit at my computer for extended periods of time. My mood was so elevated, and I was like getting out of bed in the morning. And I just felt, I was really impressed with the experience in my first couple days. And so then I stuck it out, obviously, and drank it. Beyond that. And, by like 7, 8, 9 days, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm starting to realize like I'm sleeping at night. I'm falling asleep. I'm sleeping like a baby. Like, so really for me in that first 10 days was huge, because I really didn't think that anything was going to happen or anything was going to change. And then it did. And then every day that went by, it was like, it felt better. And I noticed something more. Like, the benefits just kept coming. So, I mean, before the 10 days was over, I was completely sold. Like, I'm like, this stuff is absolutely incredible. But what I really do want to mention is what it's done for me now that I've been drinking it for 10 months, because I think everybody remembers like their first experience drinking it. But a lot of people forget to mention or talk about like what happens when you're consistent with it. And when you're actually making it like a part of your day every single day for an extended period of time. I look back to 10 months ago and I don't recognize myself at all. I mean, I look at pictures even of myself and I can just see it like in my face. I was just dark and scared and anxious. And I mean, I am going on, I would say 9 months, we'll say 9 months because, the first month I was still like getting used to everything, but I would say I'm going on 9 months of the least amount of anxiety and depression and ADHD and just battling my brain that I've ever had in my life. Like, without a doubt. I mean, I can't even, like, I feel like I'm gonna get emotional because it's like, there's times where like I wake up in the day and I'm just like, how can I even like, I can't even explain this to people. Like, I just want everybody to have it because I feel like I have to like pinch myself and touch myself and be like, how is this real? Like, things that I never used to feel like I could accomplish, I'm getting done. I just feel so much more clear-headed and focused. And so I'm waking up and being productive throughout the day, and accomplishing things that I was never accomplishing before. And I mean, I haven't taken a nap. It's so funny. I literally will try to take naps now just because I'm like, I want to take a nap. Like, naps are good. And it can't even like calm down in a good way though. Like, it's like, why am I taking a nap? I have too much to accomplish. I have too much I want to get done. And I'm in way too good of a mood to like lay in my bed, So, I mean, and the fact that I don't even have like those anxious thoughts. I'm not having mood swings. Like, I feel completely changed. And I know, like, I remember hearing people talk about it, even when I was in my first, month, hearing testimonials of people who had been drinking it for an extended period of time and thinking like, these people are crazy. Like, come on, like, how can this actually, be real? But to be honest, and if you're on here and you're on, you're thinking about trying our product or becoming a part of our community or whatever it is, like, it's you know, it's really science, you know, and that's why I get so excited about this product, because I went into it without any knowledge on it, and I didn't really do my research, and I just kind of let the product take its place. Like I just let it do its thing. And then like after that, I started to do the research and learn like there's actually real things that are happening in your brain and in your body when you're giving it pure therapeutic ketones, you know? So just, oh my gosh. I mean, I could go on and on, but yeah, I mean, I am a completely changed person. Like I said, I haven't had anxiety or a panic attack in months. And I also, one thing I always forget to talk about, when I started drinking ketones, I had severe adult acne, like bad, like so disgusting. You look back at my photos and I was editing everything. Like you could tell I was using a filter to edit out. I have not had a single breakout of acne in 9 months. So another thing that like people are always like, oh my gosh, your face, like what and I'm like, it's the freaking ketones. So that's in a nutshell, I guess.
Yep. And I'm like nodding to everything you say, because I'm like, I felt your story is like almost, different for different people, but
yeah,
the feelings that you had, exact same. It's crazy. And your skin looks amazing, by the way. If you have not seen her photos, it's insane. Okay. So last question, how has being part of the Prove It community changed your life?
I just got like goosebumps just like hearing you say that. Oh man. I mean, in ways that I could never actually, I don't think like it's something I can put into proper words. Like I'm probably just going to jumble my way through this, but when I think of like how this community has affected me, I think that it's so like, sometimes it's so interesting to me how like all of these people have come together in this like same place. And like, we're all the same. Like we're all humans who we've all struggled with some sort of, whether it's been anxiety or depression or feeling lost or feeling stuck or can't sleep at night or, you know, acne even. I mean, there's so many things that humans are struggling with and battling with every day. And to see that we've created this community of people who have all come together and who are all one and the same, and who all like, we've locked arms and really put this conversation out there so that people know that there's more and that there's better. And so to me, I mean, this community has changed my life, because I look at things in such a different way. I'm dreaming bigger than I ever have, you know. I treat people differently because I have more respect for, you know, people, because I've learned so many walks of life and stories and transformations that have, you know, been affected by our product. And I mean, it's changed me from head to toe, inside out. So, you know, it's an incredible product. And I think that that's really what makes us so special, is we do have a product that works. It's backed by science and research. And 9 out of 10 people tell us that they've never felt anything like this before. Like how many times, if there's anyone on here that's already experienced ketones, like how many times have you talked to someone and they literally, the words are, I've never felt like this before, or I've never found something that has worked in this way. Or like, I get it all the time too, is like, this is the first thing that's ever worked for me. To be a part of that is like incredible, because we get to be the ones that get to share that gift with other people. And then to be surrounded by people who are going through these transformations, and everybody is like out to make their lives better and to dream bigger. And, you know, I mean, when you give a mom, you know, more energy and more mental clarity, and she feels like she can be a better mom, I mean, that changes people forever, you know, and that makes people's home lives better. And then when you're transforming these people from the inside out and you put them all together in one community, I mean, can you even imagine? Like, just, so for me, you know, yes, the product is great and it's really why we're all here. But above that, like, if you need a place that you want to fit in, if you want to feel loved and important and welcomed, and you know, be surrounded by people who really are out to, you know, seek the best life ever, like, I don't know where else you would want to be. Like, it's just the greatest place ever.
It is, and I think just to add on to that, like I feel like it's a community where you can come as you are, and you're going to be loved wherever that is, whether it's a customer, being in our community as a promoter. Like there's not this pressure. It's just like, we love you where you are. And I can't tell you what it's meant to me to be like aligned with you and so many other people. And you're an amazing, beautiful soul, and I love you.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, and like what you said too, it's crazy because I think so many of us have gone through life, you know, truly feeling like we didn't fit in some format. You know what I mean? Like there's always been a time where like, you know, you just feel like maybe you didn't fit in with all the moms at, you know, the school that your kids go to, or maybe you didn't. Like I was made fun of as a kid. I didn't fit in, you know, in middle school and high school. And I didn't really kind of come into my personality until I was a lot older. So like, we've always all been like in a position where we didn't feel love or accepted, or like we didn't fit in. And I have never felt more like I belong somewhere, and more like I can just like pull the layers back and just be exactly who Alexis Whalen is, the quirky, crazy, like nerdy, scientific person that I am, that I've always tried to like almost hide. So yeah, I mean, oh gosh, good stuff, right?
Yes, I love it. Well, I mean, I think so many people can connect to so many things that you said, and thank you for sharing your story. I'm going to stop the recording.
Thanks for having me.